I had to cover my screen. I had to cover my screen. I'm back. I'm back. I had to get up right quick. That was ghetto. That was ghetto as hell. That was real ghetto. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Don't y'all forget to hit that subscribe. Don't forget to follow me. We come on here. We have discussions. I try to come on here a few times a week. I know it's Saturday. Everybody out protesting and fighting on the behalf of the Latinos and all of that. I know y'all busy and things like that. Y'all on live stream trying to capture some moments and things like that. But we just coming back just to have a little conversation because we just want to talk about it. We just want to get into a little bit of something, something. So I appreciate everybody who, um, uh, I appreciate everybody. I don't know your auntie, but I appreciate everybody. Whatever the case may be, more than likely we're gonna have some trolls on here, and we always come on this page and we remove trolls instantly because we just don't tolerate trolls. We don't like trolls. Sometimes trolls can be a headache or three. And so we don't want to deal with that. But don't y'all forget, to tune in when we do go live and share the live and show some love and things like that. And we appreciate it because it's really helpful and needed. I'm a small guy, small channel. We just be talking. I know that we're not going to agree all the time. I know that we're not going to always have people who's going to come on the channel and want to be a part of the channel. I understand that you in tune with bigger channels and things like that, but that's fine and that's okay because everybody have their own prerogative of who they want to talk to, deal with, listen to, or whatever the case may be. So we just an open source of channel where we just talk and we have sensible conversation. Real soon, we're gonna be going live where you're able to come in and you can come in face to face. You can also do more things on the channel, as I begin to do other things to bring about some other things so that you can be more interactive on the channel. Right now, I do not have the correct amount of subscribers to do more things when we go live. There's only so much that you can do. I'm not coming here to ask you for no money. I'm just coming here because to have good conversation and talk and find out more things and more ways that we can improve all of our lives in so many different ways. It doesn't matter whether you're a black man, white man, Jewish man. It doesn't matter if you're a Mexican or Latino. It doesn't matter what you is or where you come from or what your background is. It does not matter. Everybody have a say so into the to freedom of speech. Everybody have a say so to give their opinion and talk about different topics and things like that. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with a bunch of conversation that takes place, especially on this channel. We try to be fair and we try to be equal when it comes to conversation. We try our best. We really try to be our best to be fair and to be equal. But if you decide that you want to come with the bullshit, we will block you. We will get rid of you and put you in another place because we don't want to deal with disrespect and all of that kind of stuff. And we know that that's going to happen anytime you get on the internet and you mention anything about a black man or anything like that. Or here come the trolls. Here come people thinking they can come and spew out misinformation. We are not into black fatigue. Okay, we're not into that because those are not the type of people that we want to deal with in the first place. And we are definitely not into white fatigue. We're not into no type of fatigue on this channel, on this page. We don't want to get into that. But however, if you decide to come with your disrespect, if you try to come with your bullshit, more than likely we will block you and don't want to have no association with you. And I know some of you that talk shit on the internet behind that computer screen, you don't give a fuck about being blocked. You're just gonna go and create another page. You're gonna do it all over again. I know most people who on the internet, they talk that noise all day in the comment section, but when they see you in person, they don't say a damn thing to you. Okay, so especially some of you racist activity folks, you don't say shit. Okay, you see you at the Walmart and you say yes sir when you pass by me. Okay, but behind that computer screen, behind that keyboard, and that fake account, you're able to do what you want to do. And I feel like that I should be one of the people to go ahead and find your location and find out where you work at and go tell your boss how nasty and ugly you is outside of work, that your intentions of your heart is deceitful and defiled and full of racism. We don't play that bullshit over here. So you take that shit somewhere else and you go ahead and rock and roll. Today we're going to be talking about the America. America and the angry black man, because I see so many comments and videos, and I see people saying so many things about the black man, and why is the black man so angry? Why do the black men seem to be so angry? Why do they seem that they are not never happy? Why do black men seem like that they have no other choice and no other way but to display themselves a certain kind of way? And it seems like that they're always bitter about something. People feel like that. A lot of black men are not happy, and they want to know why is black men seem to always not be happy about something. We give them this, we give them that, and they still not happy. They still have a complaint. They still have issues, and what they don't know that white men are the same way. Especially when you have traveled a little bit, and you are able to see other different cultures and states and cities and counties on how they operate. You'll find out there's a whole lot of white men that ain't happy either. Okay, I don't think at this point of time in America, there's not too many people that are happy at all, because we still are not seeing the benefits of voting, no matter what or who you voted for. Or who you stood with. If you stood with Trump like I did, we're still not seeing the benefits right now. I don't know if it's just too early or whatever the case may be, but even though I like Trump, I still feel like that Trump needs to really focus on some of the American issues that we're dealing with. When it comes to a lot of things, people are still suffering financially. People still cannot get approved for mortgages. People still can't even afford to even apply for a mortgage. People still can't get things that they need to survive in everyday living and everyday life. So people still have some form of struggle going on. And I think that, at some point we need to get a little bit back up from immigration a little bit and start talking about the American people and the suffering of American people. And we're not asking for $200 checks. That's not going to help the American people. There are so many people, whether you're black, white, Mexican, Chinese, or whatever you are in America, a lot of people are still in struggle mode. A lot of people are still in struggle mode. A lot of people still are trying to, find their way in. Just giving us $1 off on eggs is not it's not good enough for American people. Because if you live in America, we already know the rent is $2,500. We know the light bill is $254. We already know that the gas bill is high as hell. We already know in order to fill your car up, it's going to cost about $60 to $70 in some states, and in some states it's $100. We already know that. We already know that in the American life, in the American world, we are still on the break of being going through different things. So we are all angry at this moment. At this moment, we all feel some kind of way, okay? Because we are not seeing what we need to see. Of course, a lot of us are making the money, but by the time you get some money in your pocket, they got to go to somewhere else. By the time that you get the money in your pocket, that same money have to go somewhere else. So it's kind of like, man, a lot of people are still going through the process of just trying to survive. So when you are in that type of situation where you're just living just to survive, that becomes a problem and an issue, because it's like, you're still trying to make everyday needs. You're still trying to make sure you prepare for your kids to go to college. You're still trying to prepare for your children to have a safe place, a safe location. You're still preparing for all those things to happen in your life so that you can be better and greater. And it's hard to be better. It is hard to be greater when this government is literally set up and designed to hold you back even more. It's hard when you're making $700 a week, and $245 a week of it is going to taxes, okay, and another 35 to 45% is going to child support, and then some more is going to health care. And then you got some more that's gonna go somewhere else. So everybody have their hands in your weekly check, and you end up really having just enough just to try to pay some rent and maybe your cell phone bill, and try to find, excuse me, and try to find other ways to really make some money. So it is absolutely hard in this society to try to keep up with the American standard, the simple American standard. Okay, they say that we have an American dream. It seemed like I need to wake up from the dream, because the dream just ain't happening, okay? The dream is falling down to the ground. The dream ain't what it's supposed to be. It seemed like the dream has shattered, okay? We live in a shattered dream right now. So everybody, so many people that's in America is suffering. It doesn't matter what color you are. Everybody is going through some things right now. The richest people The richest people right now is the politicians. The politicians are making all the money. The politicians are lobbying. The politicians are getting the bulk of the plate. Okay, people are applying for disability and waiting almost 2 years to get approved. Okay, people are applying for government benefits, waiting a long time, or either don't even get approved at all. Making no income or to very little income. Now they want everybody to go to work in order to get food stamps, which is a great thing in some instances, but there are some instances where people just literally can't get a job. So they're going to be out of food stamps. They can't even get a job. Okay. And it's not that. See, I hate when people run their mouth and say black folks don't want to work. You're a motherfucking liar. You and your mama. You're a liar. Okay. People do want to work. People do want to go. There are people that want to go and make an honest living, but how can you make an honest living when there is no living to be made? Okay. If you go apply on Indeed, we already know that 50 to 70% of Indeed is scams and fraud. People just taking your email, calling your phone line, calling you from a WhatsApp number and all that kind of stuff. All of that's a bunch of fraud and fake. And over 80% of Indeed is talking about outside sales. And you know what they mean when a job say outside sales. That means that you're going to work for us and we ain't going to pay you shit. That's what outside sales mean. Outside sales mean that we want you to come to work and we're not going to give you shit. Okay, you're gonna work for free. You're gonna go and get your black ass up. You're gonna go knock on doors. You're gonna go from house to house. You're gonna go from place to place. You're gonna go from apartment to apartment. You're gonna try to sell these boxes of popcorn for us. And then if you don't sell 100 of these popcorns, you don't get paid. But if you sell 50, that's for us. But if you sell 100, maybe we'll chunk you something off of it, maybe 5 or 10%, and then you get your ass on and you come back to work the next day. And you better be on time and you better dress the way we tell you to dress. If you don't dress like we told you to, we're gonna fire you from this little bullshit ass job. Okay, so that is the American workforce right now. The American workforce is literally designed and is set up for failure. It's literally designed and set up that everybody don't have an opportunity, that people just can't do what they need to do. Okay, not only black people are struggling, you have white folks that are struggling. You have everybody is struggling right now. Okay, this is not struggle in this day and time, is not racist. I'm gonna say it again. Struggle in this day and time is literally not racist. Struggle is on everybody's doorpost at this very moment, because so many people is stuck on the fact that they are doing better than everybody else, but really you're struggling just like me. That's why they're able to get on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and try to sell you a bunch of bullshit baloney. They try to sell you the fact that they got all this money, and they going on TikTok and they buying all this damn prop money and they throwing it in the air and all this kind of stuff and setting it up and have it all spread it on the table, and everybody looking at it with an eye of jealousy, and they start feeling like that they have all of this money, but really they struggling too. Okay, you have to read between the lines and tap into your discernment and know that they are struggling just like you. Right now in this American economy and system, we are all going through a situation where we are trying to literally just make it and wake up for the next day and hopefully have a plan to do better, and hopefully have a plan to come out of some situations and come out of what we're in. Okay, it's so hard. Okay, it's so hard to come out of something when there is nothing there. Okay, it is so hard to come out of something when there's nothing there. And everybody is trying to put on that persona. Everybody's trying to put on that thing. That's why they're going out getting these home loans, and they're going out getting these truck notes, and they're going out getting these big cars, and they getting all this stuff, and they posting on social media. They got all this stuff, but all this stuff is mounting up to nothing but debt. That's all it is. It's just a big representation of debt. In my neighborhood across the street, okay, I see somebody across the street. They got a really nice home, okay, and I see they look like they buy a car every 3 weeks. Look like they go and finance a car every 3 weeks. It's not cash, okay. They got a truck, they got a couple cars, they got motorcycles, they got the riding lawnmower, just building on debt, just to keep up with a persona of foolishness in their mind that they are not struggling. They are trying to portray like they are not struggling when they are. They are struggling. They are going through. They do have issues. They are trying to portray like everything is all good when it's not. And I know that, and everybody else know that. So when it comes to this thing, we have to first learn that we are in a situation where we're literally just trying to make it. Can we just try to make it? Okay. The angry black man. Why is it that the black man is so angry at this very moment? Black men, a lot of black men are angry. A lot of black men are angry not at people, but rather for at the system. A lot of black men are just not angry at people, but they are rather angry at the system that was set up and designed against them. Listen, I know a lot of white folks like to sit up and say that the system is not against the black man. It is against the black man in so many different ways. And you know, it's the way that it's positioned. That's why you're able to go on your news feed. That's why you're able to go on your internet on TikTok and YouTube, and all you see is a bunch of black disgrace. That's what you see. What you see is a bunch of black disgrace. It's easy to find a black man going into a store and robbing it. It's easy to find a video of a black man going into a neighborhood and messing it up and doing stupid stuff, which is I don't vouch for. It's easy to find that kind of stuff because when you go on the internet, it's going to portray that the black culture is who's doing all of the wrong. Okay, but when the FBI data says different, okay, but it's entertaining. Black pain is entertaining. Anytime you show black pain, it is it's a viral sensation. It's able to build commentary. It's able to build that noticeable attention because black folks make dumbass decisions to do stuff out in the open, and while they're doing it, they turn their camera on while they're doing it. Okay, and that's a stupid situation, but a lot of them do that. So at the end, so it kind of feels like when people say that, you know, when black folks is not doing just as bad as or whatever the case may be, we are disenfranchised. Okay, we do have situations where we're not winning at the top, no matter how far to the top we get to. It is situations. It is it's not just a black fatigue, but it's a white fatigue that has become stagnant and sleeping on the black culture. And the black race, we are one of the ones we have to fight against everything and everybody every time we wake up. We do. I know people like to say that, well, black folks act like it's just them against the world. Every time we look around, it seems like it's just they act like it's just them against the world. You know, it's not that we feel like it's us against the world. It's just that we have to fight more battles than the average cat. We have to fight more battles than the average damn cat. Every single day it's a problem, it's an issue with something going on where we have to sit back and fight all of these different battles that at some point it becomes hard on a man to keep fighting all of the battles. Listen, we got to fight against white folks don't want to fuck with you. We got to fight. We got to fight against Hispanics don't want to fuck with you. We got to fight against Chinese only want you when you spending your money at the restaurants and buying that bullshit cat food. Okay, we got to suffer against Pakistans who only want you in their store to buy some gas, and after that you get your nigga ass out. Okay, it just goes on, and it just never stops. Every time you look around, it's just a constant battle of fighting. You have to fight for everything. When you go to court, you go through injusticeness. When you go through the court system, and then when you come out of the court system, you got to go through some more bullshit, and then you got to go through fighting against the attorney trying to charge you some money that you don't even fucking have on this case. You know, a misdemeanor case. The lawyer wants $10,000, and now you got to figure how the hell I'm gonna do this, and you know that you don't charge that for everybody that come through your office, but because you want to just go ahead and try to rape the shit out of a nigga. But at the end of the day, it seems like, you know, what in the world are we going to do when we are caught up in a situation where the battle and the fight is coming from so many different ways. And you wonder why that black men are so angry. Okay, why they feel like, you know, they can't get ahead. You know, child support court. Oh my God. We're not going to even discuss what they're doing to us in child support court. I mean, we literally just fucking stop paying. Okay, I'm not vouching for that. I am an advocate for paying child support, but some men they just stop. It's just you can't get ahead. You can't get ahead of it. You know, once the state tack on all their fees and when they have all this stuff going on and charging you for the portal, charging you to get in, charging you for the filing, charging you for the fees, charging you for on every hand, you paying child support 5 to 6 different people and corporations are sticking their hand into the child support plate. And before you know it, that you never even pay the actual real child support. You just constantly paying on the fees and it never goes away. It never goes down. And then on the back end of things, you have the women helping them out, telling them about they want more money. They ain't getting enough and they want some more and they want to do a modification because they found out you making an extra $3. Listen, we go through a lot of bullshit on a daily basis, and what it is that y'all don't go through a whole lot of shit that black men go through, so y'all sit up here and y'all feel like that what they're going through ain't shit. Y'all feel like it's all a lie. Y'all feel like it's just a bunch of made up stories, or we're going through the same thing. No, you're not. You're not like us. Okay, you have a more for benefit. You have a card that you can depend on. You have a group. You have a set of people you can depend on. Okay, you have more things. Unfortunately, the black family is being challenged. The black family do have some things in their lives and in the background of things that is inappropriate. Yes, the black family sometimes can be dysfunctional. No, they don't help each other. No, they do not. No, the black family don't come out for each other the way they should. No, the black family don't do what the slaves did, stuck by each other and tried to make things happen. You only had about 4 or 5 Uncle Toms, and that's about it. But what do you do when you have about 10,000 of them inside of one family that don't want to see you survive, that don't want to see you make it, that don't want to see you grow? What do you do when you have a family that don't want to see you? Thank God that I am not the type of individual where I have to depend on my damn family. I don't have to depend on my family. I've been on my own since I was 16 years old. I left home at the age of 16. I had a missing person out on me because I left home early. And then when I left home, I went and got me a job working with a man by the name of Mr. Wesley Woods. Huh? I was working for Wesley Woods Pools. I went out there my only job was to put chips in the ground. I had to take a hammer and beat in the ground all around pools, all around the city. And that's what I did for a living when I was 16 all the way till I was 19 years old. I made an income for myself. And when I got horny, I went and got me a girlfriend. And I found out that she had her own apartment. And my dumb ass, I moved in an apartment with her and I split the bills with her. And I started paying bills at her apartment. And that gave me a way of escape to get away from my family, to get away from people who I felt like they didn't love me appropriately or raise me incorrectly. Of course, I got into bad places. Of course, I've been to jail. Of course, I made bad decisions, but I still been on my own since I was 16 years old. And I did never go back home. Black families are dysfunctional. But at the end of the day, are we in a position to say, hey, black folks, they just mad. They're just angry. Every time you look around, black folks is mad. I don't give a damn. They shouldn't leave that mad. I don't understand. What is wrong with them guys? Okay? You got to understand the pain and the displeasure that black folks have been through, are going through right now. We're just not talking about being shot on the street by the police. We're not just talking about that. We're just not talking about selling dope, get caught, and get the case dismissed later on because the police lied. Not just that. That's legal stuff. That's fine. I know people who kill people and beat the murder case. Okay, I know people who kill people and beat the murder case. So I'm just not talking about that because beating the case to me don't always mean innocent. It means you had a good ass lawyer. Okay, it don't mean innocence. Okay, winning a civil suit don't mean you was right. You just got a good ass settlement. Okay, so but I'm talking about everyday livable living issues and situations and drama that black folks have to endure day in and day out when it comes to things, the battles and the fights that we constantly have to face all of the time. It's like a working clock and it never stops. It goes on and on. And it's even worse when you have black folks who don't understand their own problems. You have black folks who don't understand what black folks are going through, how it is a constant struggle. But it's still in a position where we have to find our place and find our grace. Okay. Find our place, and then we have to turn back around, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to find our grace. And then you have to come to a place in your mind that you're sick and tired of literally being sick and tired, like I was. Okay, just getting sick and tired. Of course, you're gonna do some bad things sometimes to get there, but you got to find your place and your time to get out of it, even in your mind, and free yourself. And that's why I believe that a lot of black folks should seek psychological counseling and help, and especially when you have been through so much drama in your life. Okay. It's just one of those barriers. So when you're going through those barriers in life and you don't understand the barriers that you are going through and not understanding the black family and how the black family is sometimes affected in so many ways, and white people don't believe that black folks still suffer from some systemic racism. They don't believe in that. Some people say that racism don't exist today. There's no such thing. But those same people who say racism don't exist is the same people who get on Twitter and spew out the racism. The same people who say racism don't exist be the same people who get on Twitter on a post and call you a nigger. Same people. So it's crazy. It's amazing. It's the world that we live in. But as a black man, you have to find out your place. You have to find out where you belong in society, where you belong in life, where you belong on this land. Once you find that out and tap into the greatness of yourself, you come back to a position where you know how to handle yourself, handle things in a more better way. I'm still learning at the age of 44. I'm still fucking up at the age of 44, out of all the things that I've read, after all of the knowledge that I have, after all of the books that I've read, after all of the research that I've done, after all of the things that I have accomplished in my life, after all of the things that I have sought out to do for myself, I still fuck up. Okay? So it's not that you are being free from the fuck up, but you need to be free in your mind, know that you know how to fuck up and get back up. That's a difference, okay? You got to be a black man to know that you fuck up, but you also have to learn how to get back up and keep it moving and don't be moved or deterred by this. This is why so many black people are angry with the Latino community. They are angry because we on the short end of the damn stick, okay? We on the short end of the stick. You take the jobs, you put us out, you call us lazy, you call us no good, you call us retarded and stupid. You sit up and you call us all this shit, and then you turn around and take everything from us. You take the jobs, you hire your people, your cousins, and all that shit, and then you turn around and say that we lazy. We lazy after you the one who took the damn job from us. Come on now, loose your hold and set the captives free. That's just what it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you saw this video, I want you to click on subscribe. I appreciate you. Much love to everybody. I'm not a racist dude, but what I am, I'm a just dude, and I understand both sides and the situation. And always keep it true and 100 to you, yourself, your family, and make sure you have a great weekend. And I'll be back later on. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. I really need y'all. I'm trying to get there. If y'all help me, I'll get there. You listen, if you don't want to help me, I understand. If you say fuck my big black short fat ass from Texas, I understand. I still love you anyway. But just go ahead and try to hit that subscribe button, hit the like, comment below. All they do is just help me a little bit. If that's too much for you, fuck you, move on.